Awka Capital Territory Development Authority begins selling off of properties that fail to meet city's development plans. Stakeholders challenge federal government to intensify efforts in addressing power sector reforms. President Buhari inaugurates new Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission Board. Tunisia's president denies rumored death of President SSC. Good morning and welcome to the news at 7. I am David Okwasale. We begin from here in Awka, where the Awka Capital Territory Development Authority, ACDA, has sealed off some structures sited indiscriminately in Awka, the Anambra State capital city. Some of the structures sealed off included shanties sited under high-tension poles and cables, those situated in unauthorized areas, fences that do not meet the 0.9 millimeter authorized height, and environments with overgrown grasses. Correspondent Daniel Ezigwe has the rest of the story.
CTDA team, led by the Managing Director, Venerable Amaechi Okwuosa, also issued a stern warning to residents and shop owners to cut overgrown grasses around their environments within days. From the main entrance of the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University Teaching Hospital, Amak, Awka, where the team kicked off the activity, to Agwoka, where it was wrapped up for the day with the seal-off of a cooking gas plant situated inside the petrol gas station. The ACTDA team also issued seal-off memos to the affected sites and ordered for immediate action to be taken on them. The ACTDA boss, Venerable Okwuosa, who spoke on the sideline of the field work, noted that most of the affected structures and sites had been issued warning notes by the board prior to the day, for which most of them failed to comply. Venerable Okwuosa said the keen drive by Governor Willie Obiano to give Anambra State, especially Awka, the state's capital, a befitting and world-class aesthetics must be adhered to by the people, and warned that the board will not blink an eye on indiscriminate constructions that belittle the city.
We've been marching throughout the day, sensitizing residents and occupiers, including landowners, of the need to maintain a clean environment. We have sealed off some premises, those that refused to comply. I chose to move out with my team, and we have been in most places, and we will still continue.
The chairman of the Anambra Internal Revenue Service, Dr. David Nzeku, who was present to receive the team at the Agwoka Axis, commended it for being conscious of the developmental blueprints of the capital city and urged it to make the clampdown a continuous action for better results.
It's good that once in a while they step out and go round, because this state belongs to all of us. And if we have a clean, healthy environment in Awka, it is in the interest of all of us that we do so.
A resident of one of the affected structures, Mr. Chika Akabog, said the government's intervention may be seen as uneasy by the culprits, but was necessary if Awka must attain the dream height. The ACTDA team will continue the seal-off and warning today. In Awka, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
The Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology, NIFEST, has advocated for the setting up of Anambra State Food Safety Commission that will checkmate the quality of processed foods in the state. The institute made the call when the delegation of the association paid a courtesy visit to the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of ABS, Chief Uche Nwora, in his office in Awka. Correspondent Chibuzo Blike completes the story.
Of Food Science and Technology, NIFST, registered as non-profit making body representing food professionals drawn from the academia, industry, government and research institutes in Nigeria, with a reflection of the rich human resources of NIFST, was founded in 1976. According to the president, NIFST, who is also the chairman, council of the institute, Mr. Emmanuel Oluwale, the bill, which has been passed by the National Assembly, will oversee the professional food scientists and food safety in Nigeria, and said there is need for the State House of Assembly to look into the adoption of the bill into the states, as agriculture remains the key in Anambra State. Mr. Oluwale noted that the visit is to announce to the Southeast and state residents of their upcoming annual conference that will be held in the state capital in September 2019, with theme as traditional food processing to ensure nutritious food is available, as well as creating wealth for professionals.
Apart from needs ensuring that we have wholesome nutritious food on our tables, we also create wealth. As professionals in the food science and technology. Of course, Anambra is key to a lot of things when it comes to food safety and food security. And we want to bring our professional expertise to bear on the various aspects of food safety.
Welcoming the delegation, Chief Mora assured them that ABS will always deploy its platforms in ensuring that all lofty visions come to fiction. The ABS Chief Executive noted that their mission for the setting up of Anambra State Food Safety Commission is paramount in tackling some of the wrong perception in consuming locally made products.
We'll work with you, we'll support you, we'll partner with you. Our job here, unfortunately, we cannot do financial sponsorship, but we can deploy our media platforms, both on the internet, radio, TV, to support your festival. Food safety concerns all of us, so we'll support you, we'll work with you, and just to ensure that in Anambra are aware and informed of your activities, so you can count on our support. Yeah. The Dean, Faculty of Agriculture, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, Professor Ernest Igwe, and NIFST Chapter Chairman for East Central, Professor Gabriel Okafor, affirmed that the institute is committed and will, in a short time, ensure food safety in the state, and thanked the station for their support and partnership.
So we are praying that this Food Safety Commission, the fair trade you are talking about, we want to capture it. The adulterated food, we want to capture it. Everything. So, and fortunately, this year's food safety motto is everybody is involved.
In Oka, Chibuzo Bidiki, ABS News.
The standard of living in Nigeria will improve if industries enjoy constant power supply. The Anglican Bishop of Enugu Province, Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma, who stated this in a chat with journalists at Ascension Anglican Church, Odumo Layout, Bosi, stressed that constant power supply is the life wire of both infant and multinational industries, adding that youths are absolved to work in industries once they have power supply to produce. Ogochukwu Orano has more.
Bishop Chukwuma lamented that some multinational industries have relocated to other countries due to a poor power supply in Nigeria. He called for the concentration of Fadama project in the southeast to ensure food security and reduce the tendency of Ndibo getting food from the north. He urged President Buhari to ensure that his second-term administration accommodates all segments of the country, just as he challenged Christian politicians to stand firm and refuse to sell their birthright for mere appointments. Bishop Ephraim Ikako of Amichi Diocese, on his part, said Nigeria has a fundamental problem of democracy because the legislature is not functioning as expected, and wondered why the Senate should be a retirement hall for former governors. He charged the Nigeria Senate to embark on house cleaning to regain the confidence of the masses. Bishop Ikako, while reacting to the lamentation from different quarters that Ndibo were denied the Senate president's seat, stressed that the most important thing is for God to provide leaders who are interested in the affairs of the suffering masses. He recounted previous Senate presidents who are of Igbo extraction, yet they did not do much in the southeast. Ogochukwu Orano for ABS News.
Over 1,000 persons have over the weekend received free malaria diagnosis and treatment at Nsugbe, Anambra East local government area. The event, held in honor of the late patron of Nsugbe Development Union, late Chief Franco Wale, took place at Ilo Abito, Nsugbe. The report is here.
were diagnosed of malaria parasites to identify whether they are positive before drug administration. Speaking at the program, the manager, Rollback Malaria, Anambra East, Mrs. Chika Ilanya, said that the event is the second phase of the program, noting that there is tremendous improvement in the prevalence of malaria in the community as against what was witnessed during the first phase. She appreciated Chief Frank Owele family and the executive of Nsugbe Development Union for introducing the program, which she said has helped in the drastic reduction of malaria in the community.
Ndị mmadụ kwuru na ọmaka emenurokwa ife a n'obodo a anyị emebugokwu ya mbụ mgbe anyị melia ndị mmadụ pụtasịla ọfụma ọgwụ a na-enwe ọgwụ malaria mana nke a bụkwa ọpụrụ iche na ya mụnwa onwe m nwukwuru ya mụnwa onwe m kwetekwe na ọ dị mma.
On his part, the caretaker committee chairman, NDU, Mr. Simeon Ogude, explained that drugs worth 750,000 naira were dispensed last year, while 1.5 million naira worth of drugs were dispensed this year.
The second phase of their benevolence to the community, they are giving us a malaria drug. First time, worth of 750,000, and this second batch was 2 cartons, worth of 1.5 million. So a partnership with the town union to eradicate malaria from the community.
The Secretary General of Nsugbe Development Union, Mr. Ken Ezeanwu, said that healthy living of Ndi Nsugbe is paramount to their administration and extolled late Chief Frank Owele's family, who donated the drugs for the program in the community. Some of the beneficiaries, including Mrs. Bridget Emo and Mrs. Ukamaka Anekwe, said the drugs were accessible as the health workers were accommodating, screening and administering drugs according to one's ailment, thanking the donors for uplifting the health status of Ndi Nsugbe. From Ilabito Square, Nsugbe, in Anambra East Council area, I am Ngozi Obileri for ABS News.
You're watching ABS TV News at 7. Still to come, President Buhari inaugurates new Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission Board. Tunisia presidency denies rumors death of President SFC. More stories after this time out.
ABS, Heartbeats of the East.
Welcome back. President Muhammad Buhari has inaugurated the board of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. 30 commissioners were inaugurated by the president, with Mr. Elias Mbam as the chairman. The ceremony took place at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The RMAFC board is the body responsible for preparing the formula for sharing revenues among the 3 tiers of government in the country. President Muhammad Buhari charged the board to be the body also responsible for fixing the remuneration of political office holders, as well as monitoring the revenues accruing to the Federation accounts from revenue-generating agencies. And on business, Nigerians still do not have access to finance despite the proliferation of commercial banks in the country over the years. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Nigeria Deposit Insurance Commission, Mr. Omar Ibrahim, said this when he paid a courtesy visit to the President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, in Abuja. He specifically lamented that about 60% of Nigerians lacked access to finance. He noted that for Nigerians to be taken out of poverty, their inclusion in financial accessibility must be ensured. Umar stated the need to create the required financial accessibility for downtrodden Nigerians. He said to achieve this, small microfinance and payment service banks would have to be licensed and established at the hinterlands across the country. Tunisian President Beji Caid Essebsi, aged 92, a major player since the country's transition to democracy since 2011, has taken to a military hospital after suffering a severe health crisis. One of his advisors revealed he was in a very critical condition but was alive, denying media reports he had died. No more details were immediately available Essebsi was hospitalized last week as well for what the presidency described as non-serious treatment. Essebsi has been a prominent figure in Tunisia since the overthrow of autocrat Zine El Abidine Ben Ali in 2011, which set the North African country on a path to democracy, avoiding the more violent upheavals seen in the rest of the region. He led the immediate transition as Prime Minister in 2011 and was elected President 3 years later. Essebsi was a senior figure before 2011, having served as Foreign Minister under state founder Habib Bourguiba and Parliamentary Speaker under Ben Ali. And on sports, YD Akoni, an ex-international, has urged the Super Eagles midfielders to create more scoring chances at the ongoing 2019 Total African Cup of Nations to enable the strikers to score more goals. Akoni, who gave the advice in an interview in Lagos, said that he was impressed with the team's performance in the Continental Football Tournament. Super Eagles won their first match against Burundi with a 1-0 scoreline and subsequently won their match against the Shuri Stars of Guinea with a similar scoreline. With the 6 points garnered from the 2 matches played so far in the AFCON, the Super Eagles have already qualified for the next round of the tournament. Nigeria will trade tackles with the Berea of Madagascar in the last Group B match at the Alexandra Stadium on June 30. The former chairman of the Lagos State Football Association also urged the players to continue to take the proceedings at the tournament one game at a time in order not to lose focus. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television, subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV Online, follow us on Twitter at ABS Radio TV, and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. Before we go on the news, here are the main points again. Awka Capital Territory Development Authority has begun selling off of properties that fail to meet city's development plan. Stakeholders have challenged the federal government to intensify efforts in addressing power sector reforms. President Buhari has inaugurated new Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission Board. We also told you that Tunisia's presidency has denied rumored death of President Essebsi. And that is the news this morning. I am David Obokwasile. Good morning, Anambra starts right after now.